Welcome to the first Quick Start guide for the Neo Blockchain Toolkit. This Quick Start series is intended to get you up and running using some of the key functionality of the toolkit. We've also got some full tutorials available, and those will walk you through the entire end-to-end process of building your first real-world Neo smart contract. Check out the links in the description for those tutorials. In this specific video, I'll show you how to get your computer set up to use the Blockchain Toolkit, which is an extension to the popular development environment Visual Studio Code. You'll need the Neo Blockchain Toolkit installed to be able to follow along with the remaining Quick Start videos. You'll notice that I'm using a Windows computer for this video. That's just for demonstration purposes, but the entire Neo Blockchain Toolkit is cross-platform and will run on Mac, Linux, or Windows. There are a few prerequisites that you need to make sure you've got installed before you can use the toolkit. The first is .NET Core. .NET Core is a free open source framework from Microsoft that allows code written in C# and various other programming languages to easily run across a variety of platforms. .NET Core is used by Neo Express, which is one of the components of the Neo Blockchain Toolkit. Neo Express lets you run your own private blockchain. And later in this series of videos, we'll also make use of the C# programming language to create a smart contract. .NET Core is so popular that you might already have it installed. You can check by loading a terminal or command prompt and typing .NET space -- version and pressing enter. If you see a number greater than 5, then you already have a suitable version of .NET Core installed, and you can skip the next few steps. I'm actually using a brand new Windows installation for this video and don't have .NET Core yet, so I actually see an error message. I'm going to open a web browser and go to the Microsoft.NET website to download and install .NET Core. I'll click the download button. The website's automatically detected that I'm using Windows, but as you can see, there are also Linux and macOS options. I'll go ahead and download the installer for the .NET SDK. I'm just going to quickly click through the installer using the default options. And now, if we go back to my command prompt and type .NET space -- version, you can see the report that I now have version 5 installed. And I'm now able to run private blockchains using Neo Express and write smart contracts using C#. We still don't actually have the Neo Blockchain Toolkit installed though. The Blockchain Toolkit is a set of extensions for the popular code editor, Visual Studio Code. The toolkit adds functionality to VS Code that allows you to create private Neo blockchains, visually explore those blockchains, and to write and debug your own smart contracts using C#. We'll start by installing Visual Studio Code, and if you already have VS Code installed, you can just skip the next few steps. I'll go back to my web browser and go to the VS Code website. It's automatically detected that I'm using Windows, but again, you can see I'd be able to download VS Code for macOS or Linux. I'll press the download button. I've read the license agreement previously, so I'm just going to quickly click through the installer with the default options. You might want to spend more time reading the information presented and customizing your installation. I'll leave this checkbox checked so that VS Code loads immediately, but it will also have been added to my start menu. Now we can see the main Visual Studio Code interface. We have access to a powerful code editor and development environment, but we still don't have the Neo Blockchain Toolkit. Installing the toolkit will make it easier to run our own private Neo blockchains using Neo Express and develop and test Neo smart contracts. I'll go to the extensions panel in Visual Studio Code and search for Neo Blockchain Toolkit. And just double check that I found exactly the right extension. The ID is ngd-cl.neo-blockchain-toolkit. Then I'll click the install button. You can see I now have a Neo icon in the Visual Studio Code toolbar. This is where you will access much of the functionality of the Neo Blockchain Toolkit. I'll go ahead and click on that. If you prefer to use your keyboard to your mouse, all of the functionality in the toolkit is also exposed through the Visual Studio Code command palette. You can now see that I have access to two panels. The Blockchains panel is showing me a list of Neo blockchains, and the Quick Start panel provides me with some quick tips on how to get started using the toolkit. We'll cover each of these in more detail in the following videos. For now, I'm going to right-click on the testnet blockchain here and open the Visual Dev Tracker. The Visual Dev Tracker allows you to visually explore the contents of any Neo blockchain. Here we can see the contents of the Neo testnet blockchain. And if we watch the screen for long enough, we'll actually see new blocks appear here about once every 15 seconds. We can click on any of these blocks to see more information about the block and to dig into the transactions that it contains. So you now have your computer set up and ready to use the Neo Blockchain Toolkit. In the next quick start, I'll show you how to use the toolkit to create your own private Neo blockchain. I hope to see you there.